Are you ready for more independence as a financial advisor? Are you ready for more growth and control over your future? The Independent Registered Investment Advisor, or RIA, model might be right for you. There are many paths to independence, and Schwab Advisor Services has helped thousands of advisors make the move with confidence. From defining your vision to successfully transitioning your clients, Schwab helps you build your roadmap to independence. To find your path, start with Schwab Advisor Services at advisorservices.schwab.com/paths today.
What's up, party people? This is your boy. I'm not doing that anymore. I regret it.
I hated that.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome back once again to Wheel Takes, a podcast about a podcast.
Are you all fucking ready to talk about some crazy shit that happened in this fucking book series?
Wheel of Time.
I am. We're demonetized.
Actually, yes. We swore in the first 10 seconds. Oh, whatever. A podcast about the Wheel of Time, a series of fantasy novels written by Robert Jordan,
I don't
completed
care,
by Brandon Sanderson.
Because this chapter fucks.
It does. My name is Gus, and I've read all of them.
And I'm Allie, and I've read fucking none of them. No, I'm just kidding. What if this whole time you were just describing the chapters to me every week, and I was just reacting? I never read them, actually.
Listen to several
Those
of them.
are the exceptions. You don't know what we do.
It's true. This podcast only contains spoilers for what Allie's already read. And again, today, that's everything up to and including Chapter 41 of The Gathering Storm.
I'm also almost finished with The Sopranos.
She has been...
Tony Soprano?
She has been doing that.
Gus will just come in and go, are you watching Tony
41?
Soprano?
I meant...
And he goes, I can't watch this.
No, that's right.
And then I go, why haven't you watched this yet?
Because here's the thing. This is the interesting thing.
Because if I waited for you to watch it, we'd never watch it.
No, it's because your free time and my free time do not overlap right now.
Well, because here's the problem. We're also coworkers.
Yeah. Well,
we are married, but we are also coworkers.
Right.
And so when we're together, half the time we're working.
Well, this is, for instance, counts.
Yes.
It's really fun, but
or
it's technically work.
It's like, babe, can you be a reader for me for an audition?
Yeah.
Or, babe,
can you
proofread my work before I send it to this person?
Yeah.
Or, babe, can we clean the house because we really need to?
Or can I run my lesson plan by you? All kinds of fun. It's great. It's really great. It's just that then we don't always have time to do the stuff we want to do, like this or other stuff. I'm making too many excuses lately. I'm done making excuses.
No, but I do think we need to go. Okay, I need to. One, our anniversary is on Monday.
It is.
13 years together.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
They can know that about us.
I think that's fine.
Two, I think we should schedule, though, another date.
I would like that.
Because I heard Sinners is amazing.
We should go see Sinners.
Our friend Kevin, one of the Kevins.
We have a lot of friends
named Kevin. We have two friends named Kevin. But the taller Kevin.
They're both pretty tall.
Yeah, but it's the slightly taller Kevin.
Yes, I know which one you're talking about.
So slightly taller Kevin said it's like one of the best movies of all time.
I can't wait.
Now, who knows if that's true or if that's Kevin, because Kevin likes to say everything is the best.
He does.
But I believe him.
Allie, here's the thing.
He got really hype.
There's the tower of Genji.
Yep.
And then there's the tail of Genji. And they have nothing in common.
Well, I don't know because I'm not reading it.
I'm reading the
Are we just
tail?
updating them on stuff we're doing?
We vanished for a fucking week and a half. So they gotta know.
Yeah.
We saw Princess Mononoke. It was good.
It was so cute. I had 5 auditions.
She's got currently, actually.
I booked like little gig.
So did I, actually.
You did.
Yeah.
We both booked a gig.
We both had a gig. Separate gigs. With the same people. With separate gigs.
I had a pitch meeting.
Yeah.
It went well.
Yeah.
I got to rewrite those.
Yeah. There's other stuff, but that's the lion's share of it.
There's more.
We're doing a thing tomorrow. Just a few things tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. We're doing a ton tomorrow.
Dog has an ear infection.
Oh, yeah.
That happens a lot.
And now I have to bribe him with an entire cheese stick.
Because he fucking hates the ear medication.
Yeah, he gave me a little bit of lip.
I'll give you lip?
Well, he just kind of went,
Oh, Pete.
Like he frowned at me.
Pete.
He didn't like bare his teeth or anything. Otherwise, I would have backed off.
Yeah.
But he did kind of like give me a little bit
It's
of the
for
frown.
your own good.
But then he saw the cheese stick and he capitulated.
You know what chapter we're talking about today?
What are we talking about?
Ball of Babies 2.
I'm so excited.
Electric Boogaloo.
I'm hyped because I'm tired, and this is the kind of thing that's gonna get me hyped.
Now, you know what else is in this chapter?
A third ball of babies?
Gawain Tricand,
Why?
who has roughly the same intelligence as a ball of babies. Now, I did say...
How intelligent is a baby, IQ-wise?
How
Like, if you
baby
compared
are
a
we
baby
at?
to a normal
Are
adult.
we at, like, fresh out the womb, or are we at, like...
Well, these are the questions.
Because I think it depends. Because I feel like you learn quite quickly the first year or two once you have eyes that work and things like that.
I learned that a dog is roughly about as intelligent as a human toddler.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, which is why I'm like, why are we being so harsh to dogs? They're literally little babies.
They can kill you, though.
Well, yeah, but like, it's so cute.
Sure.
Does that not just like give, like, does he, looking at him, not just activate all of your like loving instincts?
He looks like a lump of orange fur. I love him
so you
dearly.
admit he's orange.
I've called him orange forever.
Interesting.
I've called him orange and floor colored because he's the same color as our floors.
He is the same color as our floors.
This is a ball of babies that Egwene has.
Yes.
And the thing about that is that Gawain's in this chapter, and he is the third ball of babies. And I did say on the live react that Gawain would be getting the Ramshalan voice, because I miss the Ramshalan voice. It's only been like 3 episodes since I last used the Ramshalan voice, but I don't give a fuck. I make a habit out of using the Ramshalan voice.
It's true.
Now, you don't have any notes.
I don't, because
it was a live reaction.
It was a live reaction.
Will there be notes on the next episode?
Yes, because
It's not.
It's not a live reaction.
It's just a podcast.
Unless it's one of those days where I'm having a flare up and I'm listening and I make you take notes from me.
You can yell the notes at me. I don't mind. I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. Here's
Sounds
the
good.
thing. What do you remember about this chap?
Okay, this chapter.
It's a ripper. It's a banger. It's nonstop action.
Well, I'm forgetting
it goes from
what
0
happens
to 100 and back again.
I'm forgetting what happens in this chapter versus last chapter.
Fucking chucking toddlers out a window at
Because we
dragons.
did like she got the ball of baby stuff last chapter. Like they all linked and stuff, and then she went into her little hole, her little wormhole, and then now she's back, and now Gawain. Here's what I remember. One thing that happened. Gareth Bryn nearly died, but Swan was there.
Correct, and therefore didn't. And likewise,
It's
Swan.
gonna happen. They're gonna get. This is how it's gonna go down. Okay, they're both gonna die, and it's because they're gonna be separated for 0.5 seconds.
Horrible. I would be disappointed if such a thing were to occur.
Is that what's gonna happen?
I don't know. Well, I
think
know,
that's
but I
what's
can't
gonna
tell you. I know what happens. I have read
I
these
think that's
books.
what's gonna happen. I just feel like it's gonna be like, sadness alert, and Swan's like, "Where's Gareth?" And then I'm like, no. And I think that's gonna be some last battle shit.
That could happen, or
Part
it
of the
could
reason
not.
I think that, can I share something that happens on the show, on this podcast? It's been a while.
Yeah, okay. Just
All right,
heads up.
spoilers for
Quick,
the
quick
show.
season 3 spoiler.
Okay, so skip ahead 30 seconds if you don't want to hear that. But I think partially it's because Swan dies in the show.
Right?
And so I'm like, if she dies in the books, I feel like that's like, it maybe makes more sense to have it just happen at the tower coup.
Sure, I understand that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Like just from a structure perspective.
I understand where you're
I'm
coming
like, because
from.
she hasn't really done a ton, if I'm being honest. And so it's kind of like, well, maybe the more emotionally impactful place for her to die would have been there. I mean, I don't know how that goes down or whether or not it even does.
It depends on a number of
Maybe
factors.
she survives to the very end, but
She
if she
might.
doesn't,
So that's
and her
that's
death
what's
is
in-
dumb.
That's what's suggesting you're thinking is that the maybe she gets a dumb death in the books.
I mean, okay, far be it for me to say dumb death, right? But if her death would have been more impactful earlier, then I get the decision.
Well, we'll talk more about that when we eventually get to show episodes.
I've been
obviously,
working
but
so hard on
I
the
know.
show
I come
stuff.
into the house's room sometimes from work, and there you are, diligently taking notes.
Yeah, it's just that there's a lot to unpack.
It's all very exciting, and I'm excited to talk about it when we have time.
We will, because I'm working on it right now, and I don't do work that
know.
doesn't get done.
No, you know how I know that?
What?
The file deep dive was my idea.
Yeah. If I had started notes on the file deep dive, we would have done. This is the thing. If I start work on something, it will get done.
Might need to do a file deep dive after how much I like.
If I talk about doing something, that's a 50-50. But if I start work on something, it will get done, damn it.
You can never trust me to do anything, as we know.
That's not true.
That's not true, but
you're
it's funny.
You're a very good husband.
And you're
a very good dog dad. And you're a very good actor.
Well,
and a very good creator in general and director. And you do a lot day to day.
Okay, all right.
You went to the grocery store today.
I did.
Got me all the things that we need for the spring pasta that I've been saying I've been craving for a few weeks.
I just like to present alternate realities on the podcast just to keep the people on their toes.
So they never really know what our real personalities are.
You never really know anything about me.
See, I think you have diligent husband voice, though.
What does that sound like?
What does your voice sound like?
Like this? This is diligent husband voice?
You have a voice that suggests you're a good husband.
I have a voice? Really?
Yeah.
What would be a voice that suggests I'm a bad husband?
Bruh, what do you mean? You know?
Or would it just be one that's
nice
that speaks over you?
Oh, yeah.
That's the main thing. Because you can be a total fucking bro, I feel like, and still be a good husband.
Did you just speak over me on purpose?
Yeah, I
did. I like you. Okay, so here's the thing. You do it. You have good husband voice. Okay, so Elida wakes up. Oh yeah, Elida gets taken.
We'll talk about that.
Because we can't kill women.
We'll talk about that. But not now, because we got to do this. Okay, Chapter 41, Found Power, Gareth the Bryn Bowl, da-da-da-da-da-da, logo. Voice. And this soldier says some weird shit, some weird fucking southern shit. Well, tie a kerchief on my face and call me Aiel, said one of Bryn's soldiers, kneeling beside the general at the prow of their narrow boat.
That feels racist.
It really is there.
That feels racist.
Because they're going into the Watergate.
That was at least a microaggression.
Somebody said the Watergate was a sewer, and they're climbing up the sewer. I don't know if that's what it is, but it might be.
I thought it was a presidential scandal.
You know what?
That's funny to the Americans.
This goes all the way to
the... Do you learn about Watergate?
Presidential scandals aren't funny anymore. Now they're just upsetting.
Do you learn about Watergate in the UK, do you think?
I don't fucking know. I mean...
Do you learn about Watergate?
I imagine it's one of those things where
like a world history?
Hear about it, but it's not going to be as much of a big deal, probably.
Like, how much about America
politics matter?
Do you think they learn in their world history classes?
Less. We've only been around for 250 years.
I don't know. I'm just curious. I want to see the textbooks on American history.
I imagine they're not extensive.
I'm just curious.
I've been reading a bunch of books about Japanese history, and it's wild because you get to the 1700s in the last 15% of the book, 20% depending.
Well, yeah,
but then
Japan is very old.
But then also, most of the books that they sell here about Japanese history are World War II books.
That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah. You gotta really fucking dig, man. I had to do
there's a lot more shit in there.
There's a book called The Emergence of Japanese Kingship I'm trying to find. It's $200, and no library has it except for the fucking University of Southern California University Library. And so I did an interlibrary loan request.
And you're like, so I applied to be a student
So I'm
there.
going to be getting a second bachelor's degree so I can read this one book.
Okay, if you were going back to school, you should at least get a master's.
I don't want a master's.
Why not?
It's a stereotype that an artist gets a master's when they have nothing else in their life going on.
You have a lot going on.
I know,
in your
therefore
life.
I'm leaning into that. By the way, I'm not saying that's the only reason to get a master's. I'm not disparaging master's programs. Master's degrees are wonderful things. Everybody who wants one should get them. It's just it's a running thing that at least my peer group has noticed is that most of us around the age of either 24 or 28 went, well, better get a master's. I didn't, but a lot of people did.
I did not.
I thought about it.
I thought about it at one point. I thought about it at several points, but then I was like, nah.
This is the arts specifically I'm talking about, by the way. If you're in any technical field, you're different.
Well, I was like, I'd have to apply, and I don't even know if I want to go.
Right.
Ugh. I hate applying to shit. I really do. Auditioning is one thing. Applying, bleh.
So the Watergate.
Wait. I had a thing. Oh, I really want, this is my goal, is to, I don't want to be famous. I just want to be accomplished enough that a school
gives you an honorary
doctorate. That would be so sick. I want that more than I want a fucking Oscar.
I've told you what my, I've told you.
Because then I could be
Dr. Alley.
Dr. Alley, yeah.
I've told you my dream level of television and film fame, right?
Yeah?
Mark Shepard.
I know. I did know that about you.
And my favorite thing about that is that probably well over half of you just went, huh? That's what I want.
No, I want awards. I want awards.
Mark Shepard probably has awards. What are we doing? What are we? All right.
We're talking about balls of babies. Well, we're talking about Egwene's accomplishments. Is just why we're talking about what we want from our careers.
Mark Shepard.
I mean, Mark Shepard's amazing.
Well, yeah. I was looking up awards. I couldn't find anything. Whatever.
Which feels like an oversight because he's an amazing actor.
He's really good.
But you know what? A lot of incredible
Saturn. That's cool.
A lot of incredible actors have not won anything.
He's got a number of nominations. How exciting for him. Bravo, Mark Shepard. All right, I'm so sorry.
Okay. But I want an honorary doctorate. A MacArthur Genius Grant. I would fucking...
You want a MacArthur Genius?
I do.
Okay, great.
I do.
That's a specific thing to want.
I know. I've wanted it ever since I found out what it was. Because then I could say that I'm an actual genius.
Chapter 41.
I want those more than I want an Oscars. That's so silly.
No. Chapter 41, Found Power. This guy makes a microaggression, and Gawain is there, and Gawain is having a fucking meltdown. He's not really. He's just watching. The White Tower itself seemed to burn. It lit a daunting profile in the sky, all white and red, outlined by flames. Smoke boiled toward the midnight clouds above. Fires blazed inside many tower windows, and a glare at the base indicated that outlying buildings and trees were also alight. Gawain raised his lantern, risking just a sliver of light from the shield. Without illumination, he could make out what Bryn's soldier had seen. Tar Valen's island was rimmed by Ogier-made bulwarks, part of the original city design. They kept the city from eroding, blah, 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 blah. Here, the stone delicately arched outward from the island 5 or 6 feet above the water, forming a lip that looked like the white tip of a crashing wave. One of those ripples hit a cleft, almost... Okay, so there's a hole in the wall. This is a very long, elaborate, beautiful way to say there's a hole in the wall. And they're going to go through the hole in the wall.
Yep.
That's what we've arrived at here. The guy went, wow, well, stomp on frogs and shove a crowbar up my nose. There's a hole in the wall.
Yep.
But he said it pretty. Because rhetoric, I guess. It's good. It's
we
good.
Love rhetoric.
It's good. I'm happy about this. I am. Stop it. All right.
What is happening?
I don't know. I'm yelling at them for doubting that I like this chapter part so far.
This chapter's great, except for the fact that Gawain is in it.
Who?
I've never heard of him.
Okay.
I should probably put my headphones on.
You don't have the headphones on?
No.
No wonder the levels are all over the place. The audience is screaming. Turning their volume up, turning their volume down, having a fucking panic attack over that they're worried their hearing is going.
No, I just was like, oh, do I need to have headphones on? Like you're hearing the sound and that it sounds
helps.
Okay. But then I realized when you press the buttons, I don't hear it.
You don't get what you...
Okay,
right,
we have solidly wasted 20 minutes.
We always fucking do this. They know what they're in here for. Come on. Okay. Yeah, chapter. It's, yeah. All right. They talk about it, and Swan is like, yay, we can go in the thing. And Gawain calmed himself, breathing steadily. At least he was finally doing something to help Egwene. It had taken far longer than he'd wanted. Light said that he was coming soon enough.
Gawain never makes anyone come. That's canon.
Yeah.
That's not just fanon, that's canon.
That's canon.
And for all of you who are like, that's not true. Have we seen it?
It's fade to black, man.
Is there evidence?
Fade to black.
Aha!
I don't know. Okay.
Fade to not coming, am I right?
They're crawling the thing and they're going up the way, and Gawain is like frothing at the mouth, thinking about helping Egwene, abducting, whatever. He's frothing at the mouth because he's fucking Gawain and he bit his tongue off or some, I don't know. The Bryn soldiers are wearing city guard uniforms because Bryn was like, yeah, whenever I'm sieging a place, I just make a bunch of their own uniforms for my men so that if I have to sneak some guys in, I can.
Damn. That's a good idea, actually.
And Swan goes, it's not proper. Serving on the tower guard is a sacred duty. They're your enemy, Swan. For now, at least.
Yeah.
You're not Amerlin anymore. And then she looks at them. She's like, well, these are kind of ass. But, if you squint and look at them from a distance, it'll work.
Yeah.
But they're kind of ass in the meantime. Mm-hmm. And Gawain is, wants to move faster. And they go in. Gawain goes, now what? And she goes, we find Egwene. We start at the base, then head. So they're going to look for her. And then we switch back to who?
Elida.
Sharon. Sharon. How's Sharon?
Who's Sharon?
Sharon.
Who is that? No.
Sharon.
You're acting like there's been a Sharon here this whole time. And I go,
there
there fucking wasn't.
Sharon
Who the fuck is Sharon?
Sharon is one of
Why
my
the fuck
favorite.
are we acting like she's been here this whole time?
I'm dead ass serious.
I don't know
Sharon
who the
has
fuck
been
this
around
woman
for
is.
3 fucking books.
I don't know who this fucking woman is, and I think you're all gaslighting me and making shit up.
I'm not.
Yeah. Listen to the X-Files music.
Everybody else says her name's Saren. You don't remember? How do you now
Who
remember?
the fuck is Saren? I've never heard of Saren in my life. I've never even seen a Saren. I've never seen that name. I've never heard that name. I don't know what that name is. I would not recognize her on the street.
She's friends with Shayna.
Who the fuck is Shayna? I don't know who the fuck Shayna is. I wouldn't recognize her on the streets. Sorry to Shayna. Who the fuck is Shayna?
She also is quite close with Yukiri. And Doisine.
I don't know who the fuck those people are, and I don't fuck with them. Are they the Black Aja hunters?
Yes.
Okay, I actually do know who they are. Right?
Yeah, Sharon Asnabar. Everybody else says Saren, but fuck that. I'm not saying that. Because for some reason I can remember which one is which better if I call them Shayna and Sharon instead of Ciane and Saren.
Okay, I know why that is, because 2 of them are names that are distinct from one another, and the other 2 were just sounds that are like a fraction different. What do you mean? Shayna and Sharon is much easier to remember than...
Ciane and Saren.
God bless you.
Thank you. All right. Sharon is... What's Sharon up to?
Sharon's, fucking... I don't know.
Sharon is like, we getting our asses beat.
Oh, yeah.
We gotta do some
is she
shit
the green?
about this. Nah, I think she's...
Who's like, I've lost all my green people?
I don't remember what Aja she is.
Yeah, see, you don't remember her either.
I don't remember what Aja... You hit all the buttons.
You don't remember her either.
Brown.
None of us know who she is.
She's a brown Aja.
Guys, I would not say she's a brown.
She's a brown
so
Aja.
confidently.
Come on. No,
you
can't
sound
do
like
that.
a racist grandpa.
Okay, all right. She's brown Aja. She's a member of the... God, what are we flaming the husband for? My God. The amount of times people in these books go, could she be a black? Like, what are you doing?
I know, it makes them sound like racist grandpas.
All right. So Sharon's trying to coordinate a defense, and everybody's doing really, really fucking bad, and people are trying to fight, and they're doing bad, and they're all fucking doing bad, and Sharon's trying to fucking organize some shit, and the Greens are getting their asses stomped, by the way, because she's like, maybe we can find some Green Aja, and they're like, yeah, we don't know where any of them are. So
any of them?
Moradri,
Not a single one?
Moradri couldn't find a single Green Aja.
That's actually a problem.
She found 47 sisters.
Can we just talk about the
floor.
fact that Green Aja have been tasked with defending us against the last battle, and they couldn't even like defend us against the next to last battle. What have they been doing this whole time?
Fucking.
Apparently so. This is a new conspiracy podcast. What the fuck have the Greens been doing if not preparing for the last battle? Because clearly they were not prepared enough. What have they been doing?
My favorite thing is that whenever you point out any level of the hypocrisy or failure of Aes Sedai, the answer as given by the books is, Ishamael fucked it up.
I don't accept that.
Because he made the Black Aja, and the Black Aja, as we remember, is 20% of all Aes Sedai.
The Black Aja know that the Greens love a good knitting circle and just kept distracting them with a good knitting circle until...
What is that a sex thing, or are you being earnest?
I was
What are we doing
so
here?
earnest.
What are we doing
Get
here?
your mind out of the gutter.
You're the one who.
That's shocking. That's shocking behavior.
Why are you doing an Irish accent?
I was just having fun.
Good.
That wasn't me fully committing to an Irish accent.
I maintain that if I hadn't asked you if it was a sex thing, you would have turned it into a sex thing. But as it stands, you're gonna pretend. This cable keeps on.
I'm trying to figure out how to turn knitting into a sex thing.
Hold this. This fucking sound? This shit, this is the fucking mic cable scraping against the keyboard. It's been happening for the past year, and I've never brought it up, and it drives me insane every time it happens. Then I try to move shit. My drink! No! Oh, it's fine. Okay.
Are we once again doing Wheel Takes Has a Meltdown, the podcast episode? Are we just fucking... We have not been normal since 2019.
I've never been normal. Oh, God.
When was the last time you and I were normal?
I was not. Oh, I got drink on my sock.
Oh, that's terrible.
My sock is wet.
You can go change your socks if you need to.
There's not enough time.
What do you mean there's not enough time? There's enough time. We can take 5 minutes for you to change your socks.
Scene.
You have to memorize the scene still?
No, it's... the cable is doing the... Get the keyboard. Okay.
You have to memorize the scene still?
No, I did. It's fine.
Oh, God.
I'm fine. I'm okay. All right.
We're getting through.
The cable knocked my drink off the table, but then it landed on the ground fine.
It did. It was kind of a miracle.
Okay, ad break. All right, I've calmed down. It's going to be very professional from here on out. Yeah, Egwene does the whole thing. Nope, she doesn't. We're still with Sharon. And this dude comes in, Allie. It's your boy, Captain. Now the microphone cable is now hitting the microphone itself. I can't get... Okay, we're fine. Captain Chubane comes in. How's he?
Captain Cobain?
Chubane.
Oh.
Captain Cobain.
I was like, was Brandon Sanderson a huge Nirvana fan?
Captain Chubane comes in.
Okay, Captain Cobain comes in.
All right, yeah. And how's he?
Kurt is, well, famously dead.
He's dead. That's true.
But this Captain Cobain seems to be very much alive.
Oh my God.
Captain Kangaroo over here.
He comes in, and Sharon is like, hell yeah, well, get over here. You look like you got your ass kicked in. And he goes, yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be all right.
There were nicer ways to say that.
And she goes, see yourself healed anyway. It'd be ridiculous for our captain of the guard to risk death because of an inconsequential wound. If it makes you stumble for a moment, we could lose you. And then he walks up to her and goes, hey, we're getting our fucking asses kicked out there. Like, I don't even know what we're doing. We got like halberds and shit. These motherfuckers got dragons. They're throwing fireballs.
Like, what do you even do?
Like this.
What do you even do?
Dovahkiin, we are not. So he
I mean, if you're not a green, what do you even do? Though I guess the greens don't know what they're fucking doing either.
Sharon
because
Sedai.
There's some kind of conspiracy. What the fuck have they been doing this whole time? They can't possibly be fucking all day. And their only other job is to get to stabbing. What are they doing?
Maybe it's like one of those things where they just hit the gym, but they don't actually know how to apply anything. So it's like I've been reading a lot of books about Japanese history.
Have you?
After the Tokugawa shogunate took over, the samurai just kind of became like, they didn't really do, well, after a while, they didn't really do anything anymore. And they were like, yeah, the way of the sword and all this other stuff. But like, they didn't actually know how to fight. So, I mean, they kind of did, but not really. So like, there were times where like the Americans would come by in ships and they would literally have printouts of forts they would hang up over mountains to try to convince people there were more forts. Maybe the Green Lodge is doing that, where they're just like training all the time, but never actually doing anything with any practical application.
Well, apparently, because their practical application practically sucks.
So, he goes, Sharon Sedai, the Tower Guard is all but useless in this fight. With the Seanchan using those monstrous women, we can barely reach them before being ripped to pieces.
Monstrous women.
Or blasted to ashes. And she goes, maybe you should fucking get good. Dunk!
Wow.
No, she says, you need to change your tactics then, Captain. Tell the men to switch to bows. Do not risk closing on the enemy's channelers. Shoot from a distance. A single arrow could turn the battle to our side. We have their soldiers grossly outnumbered. And he goes, all right. She says, all right.
Chill.
Here's the new plan. We got to make a fucking ops center. We don't have a good ops center. We got to have a proper ops center, because right now everybody's just running around screaming, falling over, throwing up. It's terrible. What she didn't mention was how embarrassed she was. The Aes Sedai had spent centuries guiding kings and influencing wars, but now, with their sanctuary assaulted, they had proven woefully inadequate in defending it. Egwene was right, she thought, not just in predicting this attack, but in berating us for being divided. Also, each Aja is fighting on its own.
Well, that's stupid.
Yes. Captain, Moradri Sedai is marking pockets of fighters on the map. Ask her which Aja is represented in each group. She has an excellent memory and will be able to tell you specifics. Send runners in my authority to any group of yellow or brown sisters. Tell them to report here to this chamber. Next, so she puts together a base of operations and starts making a plan. And then all of a sudden, this is a disaster! An angry voice shouted. How dare they strike here? Katarina continued, crossing the room. Katarina shows up. Nobody's happy.
You're black, Aja, you're bad. Enough said.
They dare because they have the means and the desire, obviously, Sharon replied, shoving down her annoyance and maintaining her calm with difficulty. So far, the strike has proven remarkably effective. Well, I'm assuming command here, Katarina growled. We need to scour the tower and eliminate each of them.
I do like the rhyming.
Yeah. You will not take command, Sharon said firmly. Insufferable woman. Nor will we go on the offensive. And you will dare stop me? A brown? And she goes, whoa.
Whoa.
Since when did the mistress of novices outrank a sitter in the hall, Katarina? Egwene Alvier predicted this. So she tells Katarina she's a fucking idiot and that the Seanchan are stomping the shit out of everybody. And by the way, I forgot Katarina is the mistress of novices now, which is terrible.
Oh, that's like putting a snake in charge of preschoolers.
Yeah, but you know, Black Aja shit. And she rightfully explains that they are not...
continues to make impeccable choices.
They are not in a position to force out the Seanchan.
Okay.
And then meanwhile, every once in a while, the tower kind of shakes. And the soldiers are like, hey, just so you know, the shakes are coming from inside the house. And she goes, oh my God, are they like attacking the foundations? And the guards go, no, somebody's fucking chucking toddlers out the window.
Yeah. It's called Egwene.
Just fucking hurling teenagers at these dragons.
Just
launching these little motherfuckers at them. Fucking baby catapults left, right, and it's crazy, man. Tigraine is like, damn, I could learn from that. So
what, you mean shy you?
She dedicated.
She dedicated.
I'll tell you what, she dedicated.
She dedicated.
Sharon Sedai, Captain Shubain said. These men are from the upper levels. It appears that there's a second rallying point for the defense, and it's doing very well. The Seanchan are breaking off their attack below to focus there. Where? Specifically? The 22nd Aes Sedai, northeastern quarter. And she goes, the Brown Aja? And he goes, well, it was the Brown Aja quarters, but then the tower did a flipsy whoopsie freaky with the okey doke. And she goes, the novices quarters? How in the world? Egwene. And then we switched to Egwene. How is she?
Egwene is throwing babies.
She's in a little bit of a murder fugue.
Hey, who among us hasn't been in a murder fugue?
Each faceless Seanchan that Egwene struck down.
Let the murder fugue, wait. Cast the first stone.
Go ahead.
Wait, what is, let those
who live in glass houses throw the first stone.
Let those who live murder fugueless lives cast the first murder fugue stone.
Now the cable and the keyboard, this is absolutely untenable. And then I just punched myself in the face with the mic. I did it again. Okay.
You're good at that.
I'm very good at that.
And I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
And I love you.
Each faceless Seanchan that Egwene struck down seemed to be Rhenna in her mind's eye. Egwene stood at an open hole in the side of the White Tower, wind pulling at her white dress, tugging at her hair, howling as if in accompaniment to her rage. Her anger was not out of control. It was cold and distilled. The tower was burning. She had foretold this. She had dreamed it, but the reality was far worse than she had feared. If Elida had prepared for the event, the damage would have been much less, but there was no point in longing for what had not been. Instead, she directed her anger, the anger of justice, the wrath of the Amerlin. She blasted Toraken after Toraken from the air. They were much less maneuverable than their smaller cousins. She must have felled a dozen by now, and her actions had drawn the attention of those outside. The attack below was breaking off, the entire raid focusing on Egwene. The novices fought Seanchan raiding parties on the stairs, forcing them back. Toraken winged about in the air, swooping around the tower, trying to take Egwene with shields or blasts of fire. Smaller Rakin darted through the air, crossbowmen on their backs launching bolts at her. But she was a fount of power. Drawn from deep within the fluted rod in her hands, channeled through a group of novices and accepted hiding in the room behind, bound to her in a circle, Egwene was part of the fires that burned in the tower, bloodying the sky with their flames, painting the air with their smoke. She almost seemed not a being of flesh, but one of pure power, sending judgment to those who had dared bring war to the tower itself. Blasts of lightning stormed from the sky, the clouds churning above. Fire sprouted from her hands. Perhaps she should have feared breaking the 3 oaths, but she did not. This was a fight. Hey, there you go. She said, fuck the oaths. This was a fight that needed to be fought. And she did not lust for death, though perhaps her rage against the Suldam approached it. The soldiers and Damane were unfortunate casualties. The White Tower, the sacred dwelling of the Aes Sedai, was under attack. They were all in danger, a danger greater than death. Those silvery collars were far worse. Egwene defended herself and each woman in the tower. She would make the Seanchan withdraw. Shield after shield, I'm just going to read this whole section. Shield after shield came to sever her from the source, but they were like the hands of children trying to stem the roaring flow of a waterfall. With this much power, she could not be stopped save by a full circle, and the Seanchan didn't use circles. The Idam prevented it. The attackers prepared weaves to strike her down, but each time Egwene struck first, either deflecting the balls of fire with a blast of air or simply bringing down the Toraken who carried the women trying to kill her. Some beasts had flown away into the night, bearing captives. Egwene had felled the ones she could, but there had been so many Toraken in this raid. Some would escape. Sisters would be captured. She formed a ball of fire in each hand, blasting another beast from the sky as it swooped too close. Yes, some would escape, but they would pay dearly. That was another goal. She had to make certain they never attacked the tower again. This raid had to cost them.
It should.
So this is fucking coolest shit I've ever fucking seen anybody do. Egwene or anybody else, fucking the coolest fucking thing, man.
It's the coolest thing ever, that maybe has ever happened in these books. I can't think of anything cooler that has possibly happened. Can you?
Fart wind. No, I don't know. I'm picking the most ridiculous thing I could think of.
Why the fuck did you say that, you weirdo? Is it because your
Go
body
ahead.
snatched? I don't know. Have you been compelled to say that?
I can't think of anything cooler than this. This is one of the cooler things. I'm sure there's some things I maybe like more, but this is like one of the top 5 cool things. So then we switched to Siuan and Gareth Bryn, and the fucking gigantic dragon, Raken falls on them because Egwene, there's a fucking toddler-shaped hole in its side because there's something went right through one side,
like
right
a
out the other.
cartoon?
Yeah. Again, if you're just joining us, the reason we're making jokes about Egwene hucking babies at people is because she's linked to all the novices, and yes, I know a lot of the novices are in their mid-20s. It's funnier to say ball of babies.
I'm going to say this as someone who's 32. Mid-20s is pretty baby at this point. Like, when I'm talking, we have a friend who's 24, and I think he is smart, and he is put together and everything for 24, and yet I still feel like I'm a wizened old crone when I talk to him sometimes. The same thing with our friend that's 20. They're not like, they're friends, but like friends in the sense of like, I feel like a parent to them, like a mentor almost. But I don't want to like uplift myself by saying I'm a mentor to them.
Well, there's
you know what I mean? Like one of them calls us mom and dad.
Yeah, as a joke.
But like,
I think there's a funny thing that happens.
there's a vibe.
From the ages, like after you're in your 20s, where it's like you make a friend with somebody. Maybe they're 35. You don't fucking know.
I do like that about adulthood.
It's great. Maybe
I
they're
have friends who are-
40.
I have friends who are in their 50s.
I got friends who are older than that. I got friends in their 70s. It's great. So, Egwene, Bryn, meanwhile, almost gets a fucking dragon dropped on his head. I know they're not dragons. They're wyverns, whatever. And everything's fine, but because Swan was there, so they're fine. And people keep fucking Raken just keep falling out of the air because Egwene is wasting them left, right, and center. And they're also fighting hand to hand with Shan-Chan. Gawain predictably is doing incredibly well and stomping the fuck out of people. Killing Shan-Chan left, right, and center because he's an amazing swordsman. Lest we forget, Gawain is actually an incredible swordsman. So, unfortunately,
I don't care to hear anything positive about that man. And I'm actually ashamed that you even said something like that.
So Gawain points up at the tower and goes, "Look up there!" And it's Egwene, but he doesn't know that. It's just somebody. Whoever it was, she was certainly doing some damage to the Shan-Chan. Her arms were upraised with fire glowing between her hands, the burning light throwing shadows across the outer tower wall around her. Blasts of fire flew in a steady stream, flinging Raken from the sky. And then Gawain goes, "We have to get into the tower! This fight is just a distraction!" And Bareth Grin. Bryn is like, "Yeah, all right." And then he's like, "Where's Swan at? Where's Swan? Where the fuck is Swan?"
Swan is on the battlefield.
She ran ahead.
Don't do that because you have to stay with Bryn.
Yeah.
Min said so. God, when people don't listen to Min, I'm like, listen to Min because Min literally sees the future. Okay? Okay. And she said, if you get separated, you die. Right? Mm-hmm. What?
I said, uh-huh.
I'm just saying. Ugh.
Then Swan comes back and he's like, "What the fuck? You're not supposed to leave." And she's like, ugh. Literally, she clicked her tongue. She goes, "Your soldiers were busy. Your soldiers were busy, and I decided it would be a good time to gather some information. And I might note, we're going to have to work on your attitude, Gareth Bryn. That's not the proper way for a warder to talk to his Aes Sedai. I'll start worrying about that when you start acting like you have 2 bits of sense in your head, woman. What if you run into Shan-Chan?" She's like, "Yeah, whatever. I might have died. It's fine. Don't worry about it." So this novice goes, "Hey, yeah, Egwene's up there. She's up there fucking shit up. Absolutely wrecking face." And Gawain goes, "We've got to reach her!" And because Gawain doesn't listen. Swan heals some soldiers. They're going to go. Any thoughts on any of this? I feel like I've just been kind of talking for a while.
I just think it's fucking rad.
It's just rad.
I just want the series to become, for the rest of this time we have together, to be Egwene just blasting shit out of the way all the time.
It's pretty fun.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this scene on the show. I will lose my goddamn mind.
So then they're like, "All right, we got to get in there soon." And then all of a sudden, a shadow sneaks up on him, but he stabs it. He stabs the fuck out of it. What is it?
It's I don't know. Bella?
No. Yeah, he just murks Bella. No.
That would make him somehow even more unlikable than he already is.
Does Bella make it to the end?
Oh, Petey. Sorry, the dog.
Yeah. Does Bella make it to the end?
She better.
What is this?
If Bella dies, I riot.
That's a shirt.
Really?
That is a thing people have said for quite a while. If Bella dies, we riot, I believe, yes.
Well, I'm just letting you know. It could be a riot of one or it could be a riot of millions.
So, what is this person that Gareth stabs? Do you remember this?
Oh, the assassin.
Blood knife. It's a
blood
blood knife.
knives. What? That's my band name. Blood knife.
And he stabs him, and then he's like, oh, there was a guy there.
And we do girl pop.
And then the guy reaches out and he touches Gareth's arm and he goes, Marath Damane. And Swan is like, the fuck this guy come from?
You had anything to say.
Well, why did he do this, though?
If you had to come up with some last words, what would you say?
I don't know. Who was it? Either these curtains go or I do.
What was that?
Somebody's last words were either these curtains go or I do, and then he died.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't remember. Was it Mark Twain?
Mine would be, I'll be back.
Nope, his last words were, give me my glasses. Okay, that's not as funny.
Give me my glasses.
Oh, his wallpaper goes. Oscar Wilde. Yes.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Probably not his actual last words, but apparently he said, the wallpaper and I are fighting a duel to the death. Either it goes or I do.
Wow.
And then shortly afterwards, he died.
That must have been some wallpaper.
So
because it won.
It did. Well, maybe.
Well, he died.
It did. Okay, I don't know. Maybe he died because he was tearing the. Well, then he still would have died. Yeah. Okay, so this happens, and the blood knife was going for Swan, and then Gareth stabs him, and that's yeah.
They saved each other's lives.
And then she goes, "Hey, man, you got your ass poisoned when he touched your arm gently," and then she saves him, and they're like, "Wow, we saved our lives together. How exciting and kind of romantic."
It is kind of romantic.
So is that it? Is the viewing fulfilled?
No.
Okay.
They have to be tied to each other at all times like a three-legged fucking race. Stop going ahead of each other. We don't know. Could she have given us like a certain distance that they need to be within?
Maybe.
Like she didn't give us a specific distance.
Maybe she was tired.
So like, do they need to be tied together like a three-legged race? Can they be in the same room? The same house? How big is the house? How many football fields are we talking?
How American of you.
Ew, don't say that ever.
It is. Listen, shitty measuring system. Have you seen a large boulder the size of a small boulder?
Fine. How many soccer fields are we talking?
No, I don't mean because of that. I mean because football field is a unit of measurement. You're right.
Well, how do you know that I wasn't saying football like the Europeans do?
Because the point is not that you were bringing up one or the other type of football. It's that you were using it as I don't know. Have you seen this? A large boulder the size of a small boulder is completely blocking eastbound. A large boulder the size of a small boulder. Look that up. It's a real tweet. A large boulder the size of a small boulder is completely blocking eastbound lane highway 145, mile marker 78 to Silver Pick Road. Please use caution and watch for emergency vehicles the size of vehicles in the area. That part I added at the very end. Americans will use anything but the metric system to measure things.
Apparently this year marked the 5-year anniversary of that tweet.
What?
Yeah, look. It says, Colorado Sheriff celebrates 5 years since iconic large boulder the size of a small boulder tweet.
Well, there you go. What a day. What a day to be alive.
What a day.
And on that note, we're going to take an ad break.
So it's the ball of babies. A large boulder the size of a small boulder.
A ball of babies the size of a small ball of babies. I saw one that was like a boulder roughly the size of 4 washing machines. It's like, what are we fucking doing
That's
here?
evocative.
What are we fucking doing here?
No, but that gives me a picture.
How are they arranged?
Well, I assume.
They end to end? Is it a cube? Is it a cubic 4 cube? 4 is square?
mean, I'm kind of assuming in weight.
That's not size, though. Weight is not size. Weight is weight.
Weight is absolutely...
This gets into beetle
weight
math.
absolutely contributes to size.
No, it does not.
Yes, it does.
It can, but it doesn't have to.
But, okay. Petey versus Ollie.
They didn't say a boulder weighing roughly the same.
Petey versus a cat. Look, his size does factor into his mass.
Okay, but again, the question is nothing to do with the mass of the boulder. It's the size. It's the volume.
But what is size if not mass?
It's size.
No, because mass is size and
No,
weight.
mass is the number of atoms in a thing.
But that is largely to do with size and weight.
It's a function of it to an extent, but like the other way around. Weight is a function of mass and gravity.
But
because I said a boulder the size of a block of fucking tungsten being one of the heaviest things on Earth, you think, oh, it's this big. You can pick it up. But it might weigh a cajillion fucking pounds.
Well, yeah,
a boulder the size of a neutron
stuff is
star.
outside of the norm, yeah.
I'm being facetious, I understand.
Some stuff is outside of the norm.
But 4 washing machines has nothing to do with its weight. It's all to do with its size.
Look at all the people you're shaming me in front of.
I'm not shamed. What?
The funny thing is we don't see any of you.
No.
See, I tell him to look. What does he look at? The computer screen.
I did look at the computer. I don't know why I looked at the computer. I looked at the waveform.
Did you see them all?
You see that part right there where it
see all those
spikes?
people?
That's where I'm yelling.
You see all those people you shame me in front of?
No.
Me, your wife, who
No.
loves you?
You know, I love you too.
Shut up and eat your manicot.
I haven't watched that show yet.
Gabagool.
You can't do this to me.
Your gomas.
Gomage?
Goma.
Gomage.
You
We're going to
goma.
talk about Claire Obscure. No, we're not. Okay.
This is a Sopranos
It's not.
podcast.
So,
That was not good.
how's Egwene?
The only Sopranos.
How's Egwene?
What?
How's Egwene?
She's throwing a ball of babies the size of a ball of babies.
Now she's good. She's bushed. She's wiped.
It's inappropriate.
She's wiped out. She's exhausted. She's fatigued. She's crashing. You know what this is like.
No, I don't. I've never been tired in my life. Oh my God. So, can I tell you something funny? I was talking to my rheumatologist the other day because, you know, that's what you do when you're chronically ill. And she just had her second kid. And she goes, and she looks at me and she goes, I finally feel like I know what you feel like.
Yikes.
I was like, potentially.
That sucks.
Yeah, we'll never know because I'll never not be sick. Anyway.
Yeah. So that sucks. That sucks.
But if I ever do get magically cured and then have a baby, I'll let you know
You'll
if
know.
it's the same.
So Egwene.
But I found that so validating.
That is nice.
It was. Because she was like, yeah, y'all look always really tired and really sick. And she's like, I get it. It was great.
So Egwene is like watching people put out fires and stuff. She goes, I really wish I could help, but I cannot move. I am exhausted. I cannot do
I've
a
been that
fucking
tired.
thing.
I've been that tired many times.
She'd fought. She'd been glorious and destructive. The Amerlin of judgment and fury. Green Aja to the core. And
I would make people say this shit when I walked in the room. Like it wouldn't anymore be like, behold the Armelin, whatever.
She comes.
Yeah. You know what? My first amendment is we're getting rid of that. We're going to do this instead. This is way better. Okay, hype yourself up, Egwene.
Green Aja to the core, and still the tower had burned.
You're better than them because, you know.
And still more Toraken had escaped than had fallen. The count of wounded among those she'd gathered was somewhat encouraging. Only 3 novices and 1 Aes Sedai dead, while they'd gathered 10 Damane and killed dozens of soldiers. But what of the other floors?
What if the blood knives only found novices?
Depressing.
Okay, but also like kind of funny. Like not that, you know, like the killing of very young people is very sad. But like they set them out to like go handle, you know, the Aes Sedai.
I mean, they would think that was just as good because that fucks up
They
their...
would.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's no
That's
bad
true.
outcome other than not killing people.
Which one of them didn't. So that's, I guess, a bad outcome for him. But a great outcome for everyone else.
The White Tower was broken. Physically now, as well as spiritually. They'd need a strong leader to rebuild. The next few days would be pivotal. It made her more than exhausted to consider the work she'd need to do. She had protected many, she had resisted and fought, but this day would still mark one of the greatest disasters in the history of the Aes Sedai. Can't think of that, she told herself. Have to focus on what to do to fix things. She'd get up soon, but she could take a few minutes. And then, because she's like, great, I've got everything exactly where I want it. I just need to be here and be strong, and they'll hire me for the job for good. And then what happens?
Not that.
Captain Dickfuck shows up. And he goes,
yeah.
I saved the day.
And she's like, no,
I'm the winner. I'm the great hero.
Do not take me out of this house. Do not take me out of this imperial castle.
She barely noticed when someone picked her up. She was astonished to find she was being carried by Gawain Trakand. His forehead was smeared with crusty, dried blood, but his face was determined. I've got you, Egwene, he said, glancing down. I'll protect you. Oh, she thought, closing her eyes again. Good. Such a pleasant dream. Wait, no, that wasn't right. She wasn't supposed to be leaving the tower. And then everybody is kind of, doting over her, and she's like, no, but she's too tired to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my God, poor girl. She was bombed out. Gawain goes, they just left her here, Swan. Defenseless in the hallway. Anyone could have come upon her like that. What if the Seanchan had discovered her? And she goes,
oh God, the mouth sounds.
Sorry, I had to.
The mouth sounds. Good God.
She goes,
your commitment to acting is noted.
I destroyed them. I was a burning warrior, a hero called by the horn. They won't dare face me again. But then she keeps on
fuck yeah.
getting woken
My
up
girl.
again. And then Swan is like, what
Let the girl sleep.
Swan is like, where the fuck did she get the fucking badass Sa'angreal? Cool, all right, gateway the fuck out of here. And Egwene is like, no. But they do because she's asleep, and Gawain carries her out. And then we're back with Sharon. How's Sharon?
Sharon, I don't know her.
Sharon is like, damn, shit got fucked. Shit sucks here. It's really quite bad. This is really shitty, man. I'm just reading reports and stuff. Sharon, by the way, did a really good job coordinating logistics. Shout out to Sharon, because she genuinely really came in clutch. Egwene kind of led the battle side of things. Sharon really came in clutch with logistics.
Yeah, but Egwene really held her fucking own out there.
Yeah, Egwene is the reason the tower
She had like
stood.
octopus arms out there, just fucking...
Yeah. Sharon accepted another report. Nobody can find Elida. Then raised her eyebrows at what it had said. Only 3 novices in Egwene's group of over 60 had died, and only 1 sister out of some 40 she had gathered. 10 Seanchan channelers captured, over 30 Racken blown from the air light.
Well done.
That made Sharon's own efforts seem downright amateur by comparison.
How did the 3 novices die, though? They were just hanging out in their room.
I think there were some that were leading other circles that were fighting off Seanchan invaders. In circles.
Okay.
Yeah. And this was the woman Elida kept trying to insist was a novice. And then Chubane comes in with the fucking novice, and the novice goes, it's the Amerlin Sharon Sedai. I was attending her tonight, taking transcriptions for her, and the entire wall burst in, Sharon Sedai. The rebel covered me. I think they thought I was dead. I couldn't do anything. I'm sorry. And Sharon is like, oh, that sucks. And then we switch to Elida. How's she?
Not great.
Bad.
Not great, Bob.
She got captured.
Yeah,
she's like, my stupid nurse left the window open and a breeze came in while I was sleeping. Wait, I'm not in bed. Because she's been captured.
Yeah.
And she gets
You know
collared.
what? One of the worst feelings in the world's got to be, wait a minute, I'm not in bed.
Yeah. And
I feel that way every day.
Then she gets renamed
why aren't I in bed?
because fuck the Seanchan. And
I'm thinking that right now. I'm like, why? No, I'm happy to be here. But I'm also like, why am I still awake?
And then she screams for several hours because now Elida's been enslaved because we don't... Yeah.
I'm going to be real. That kind of sucks.
It kind of fucking sucks. Give me... What are you feeling here?
No. Here's the thing.
Because this is another one of those things...
I'm happy about the fact that she's getting her comeuppance.
Sure.
I'm happy about it. It's just, we know that this is like a fate worse than death, according to Egwene. And we keep seeing these women getting like just tortured forever.
It is an upsetting trend.
Because I'm like, on the one hand, it's the easier way out, quote. But then on the other hand, I'm like, is it? I think it might be worse.
I do think it also, obviously, I think a lot of
Death
this is...
ends.
Robert Jordan's trauma around, war and women and stuff. I get it. I understand that. I don't really love the way it's implemented, but I understand that this is just kind of, I'm probably the man kind of going through his shit, and that's fine.
But then it kills a lot of women who are extras.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, women are getting killed in this book all the left and right.
Yeah.
They're just not ones we care about. Also, this is Brandon at this point.
Yes, but Robert Jordan probably still had outlined and written much of it.
You said he had a sticky note for Perrin's plotline.
I says Perrin. Yeah. Perrin Brandon made up almost entirely whole cloth, to my understanding. But other things, like the Varen chapter, Robert Jordan had written pretty much all of it.
Stop. Don't even bring it up.
I know. The epilogue, Robert Jordan had written. He claimed...
I just got over it.
They claim that Robert Jordan wrote all of it, but
I didn't get over
based on some things that I know to be true about changes that Brandon made, there's definitely at least one part of it that Robert Jordan didn't write, but he wrote pretty much the entire epilogue. He wrote the beginning of Gathering Storm, and he wrote, a ton of other stuff, and he had really robust outlining throughout as well. I think he by his own reckoning, was like halfway done with what was going to be the one volume of A Memory of Light. But he also wrote out of order, which makes sense when you think about it.
Here's what I'm going to say about this chapter, if you want my
full
review. Because you know what? The Elida stuff, like, I hate her so much. Like, I can't care that this is what happens to her. Like, I'm like, good. I hope your life fucking sucks. Like, I hope it sucks whatever you're going through.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But it is an interesting trend at the same time. And I kind of wanted Egwene to be the one to do whatever it was that was the final moment, Egwene or Swan. You know what I mean? But, all right, so here's the thing. Egwene is amazing, and I've never said anything against her.
That is the takeaway from this chapter.
She could never do anything wrong, and I've never said anything ever that contradicts that. Never. I dare you to find a single moment in which I have shit-talked my woman, my goddess, my flame of fury, I think is what she said, right? Or whatever. Egwene.
Except for the times we did.
Karen Alvier.
Any other thoughts on this? Thoughts. I can't talk. Any other thoughts on this chapter, or just it was a ripper?
What chapter? I don't think we actually did an episode. I think that was all in our imaginations. Also, who the fuck is Sharon?
Thanks for listening, everyone. We have social media if you want to know what we've got going on. It's linked down below. We also have a Patreon if you want to support us that way. It's patreon.com/realtakes. And you can always
listen to a billion hours of your podcast. I don't care what you're up to.
A rating or a review if you want helps a lot. Other than that, anything else, Sally?
Goodness gracious. Great balls of babies.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Bye.
Bye.